All right, welcome back to another video. It's February and it's the second month into this year. And early on this year, 2025, I set a goal for myself to basically get a little bit better at lighting at my mobile gigs and private events that I do, mainly for weddings, but also some of the corporate events that I do that involves a little bit of dancing. I wanted to create a better experience for my clients and their guests. So, yeah, I decided to purchase the Sound Switch Control 1. This is basically what it looks like. You got to purchase this transmitter separately, but I'll get into that in a little bit in the video. But essentially, it's kind of like DMX dumbed down, and you don't have to really do too much. You just have to know the basic understanding of how DMX works, basically channels and addresses. So I was basically, this is all new to me. I have a good friend up in Seattle, Frankie. He runs Insane Entertainment, so shout out to him. We had a couple FaceTime calls and kind of showed me what the software, how to program everything, and how to assign your different fixtures to Sound Switch and all that. And I'll get into that as well. But yes, this was my goal for 2025, and I just wanted to create a better experience for my clients. So let's go ahead and get into the gear that I'm using. So the first thing is, by the way, all of this I think is going to be the best bang for your buck. And I recommended a lot of these fixtures to my other DJ homies that if they do weddings or corporate events, this is going to be easy to set up, easy to break down, and you don't have to do a whole lot. So again, I think it's the best bang for your buck, and mainly it's just lighting for the dance floor that kind of spills out into different parts of the room depending on the layout of your. So, oh, here's my cat. All right, so Wash FX Hex, that's from Chauvet DJ, and I'll have a link to all this stuff. Some of them will be affiliated links, and if you decide to purchase through those links, you'll be supporting the channel. So yeah, appreciate you guys. So Wash FX Hex, that's the first one. I have two of those, and basically they just sit right under my speakers. I used to run them on top because the QSC K12.2s, they have these screw mounts that you can basically thread in a screw and hook on to a Wash FX Hex. But I find that to be kind of annoying just because it's so high up and I'm not super tall. So I bought these ADJ clamps on Amazon, and I just hooked them underneath my speaker. Now, what I typically do is I rise the speakers above my head, maybe 4 to 6 inches, a little bit higher, just because I'm 5'7". On a good day, I'm 5'8". But I have them like right under my head so that it should be shining over people's head for the most part. You do get people that are taller, but the majority of people, I feel like the average height is like around my height is what I think. Anyways, so the Wash FX Hex, I have 2 of those, and then I have the both lighting tubes as well, and I have 4 of those. And to connect everything, you're going to need these dongles, wireless DMX dongles. You need the receiver and the transmitter. So this will go into your Wash FX, and then I also bought this too, which is basically a transmitter and receiver for the both lighting tube. So you'll need this, and you can get this off the Both Lighting website. I believe it's like $90 or $99, not super expensive. But when you buy this pack, and I'll leave a link in the description below, for my setup, you're going to need 3. So 2 that goes into the Wash FX if you have 2 of those, and then 1 that goes into this transmitter and receiver. So this right here is going to basically communicate to all of your both lighting tubes, which is going to be really helpful. Now, before I did all this, I was basically using it on sound active mode or just like auto mode, and how I would run my lights during a wedding, during any type of event that required lighting. I would have these IRC remotes, and basically once the dance party started, I just turned them on, and that was pretty much it. And I've never had a complaint or anything like that, but I knew deep down myself that it wasn't the best experience that I could give my clients. And nobody really cared about it as far as I knew, but for my last event that I did, which was a corporate event, there's some controls on here that you can control the lighting a little bit better, especially if there's like a drop in the song or there's a buildup. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm not like really good at this yet, but there's definitely things that you can do, and you can make custom shows for each individual songs if you want to. But the biggest draw for me for Sound Switch was that it had these auto loops that would just go in sync with whatever DJ software that you're using. I think there's a select few that this would be compatible with. I know Serato and Recordbox are probably the most popular ones, but I use Serato myself, and it will read whatever song that you're playing. It will read the BPM and basically move the flashes and the movements, the strobes accordingly to whatever song you're playing. So that's really cool. And in my mind, it's like, okay, if I don't really have to focus on the lights itself, and I can just focus on DJing, it's almost having your own personal light person to control all that. And then every now and then you can switch to different colors. If you just want one stationary color to flash blue for the entire song, or you can have it on the auto loop where it just goes through a cycle of different colors and effects that your fixtures have. So that's pretty much like the introduction of this video when it comes to what you need and all that. Now, for the software itself, it does require a subscription for you to have access to the program. Personally, I do the monthly program, which is $5 a month. I think that's fine. I believe they do have an annual subscription too. So if you just do want to pay one time and save a little bit of money, that's not too bad either. But let's go ahead and get into the software itself so I can kind of show you what it looks like and how to set everything up. Again, this video is for the most simple way to kind of light up your dance floor. And I think, again, what I have is going to be the best bang for your buck, and you don't need a whole lot to have an awesome light show. Of course, you can see that, other DJs on this platform or TikTok or Instagram, they'll have moving heads and all these other things. That's great too, but I don't have a big enough vehicle to kind of transport all that, especially moving heads, because when you look into it, the cases that you carry these moving heads in, they're pretty big and they take up a lot of space. So until I get a bigger vehicle or a trailer, which I don't know if I want to do anyways, but again, this setup is going to be the best bang for your buck. And if you want the same exact setup, we're going to go ahead and get into this software now and show you guys how to connect everything. All right, so when you first open up Sound Switch on your MacBook or your Windows computer or whatever, you're going to be greeted with this screen here. And of course, this is after you purchased a subscription to use the service. But basically, you have two options. You have edit and perform. And then at the very top, you're going to notice that hardware is going to be basically if you have the dongle or you have the Control 1 controller itself. So you don't have to use the Sound Switch Control 1 in order to utilize the Sound Switch itself. You can use the dongle, and then you can control everything live while you're performing through the software itself. That's what my friend does up north, but I just like to have a physical thing just so it's just right there and then, and I don't have to really switch screens. So once you have it plugged in, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You're going to notice that it's go ahead and turn green. So you connect that with a USB and it should turn on. So there it is. Sound Switch lights up. It doesn't need its own dedicated power source or anything. And then on the screen here, you notice that Control 1 plugged in and it's green. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Serato as well. So now that Serato is open, I go ahead and hit perform. And then I have this on default. Once you hit that, you'll see that Serato DJ is connected, and it should be able to read the different songs that you're playing at the different BPM ranges that you're in. So there's that. So we're going to go ahead and go back into edit mode so that I can show you how to add the different fixtures into sound switch. So we're going to go into file, switch mode, and we're going to go into edit. So once you go into edit, you're going to be greeted with this screen here. Now, there's a lot of different features and effects and all these things that you can do. Now, I'm not going to get into that because I am not there yet. There's other creators on this platform that are a lot more advanced than I am with SoundSwitch, but I'm going to show you how to get things up and running and basically be able to do this at your next event. And again, I'm all about simplicity and efficiency when it comes to like lighting and most of the things that you would want to do when it comes to outside of DJing. For me, I'm really focused on music, and that's just been what I've kind of like really care about rather than doing other things. So let's go ahead and get into that. So DMX, this button here, you're gonna go ahead and click on that, and you'll notice that you'll be greeted with this grid. Now, in order to add a new fixture, there's a couple ways of doing it. You can either search right here in the manufacturer, and then it will pop up all the different fixtures that manufacturer has made. Or you can do add fixture here, which is basically the same. But that's if you're on a different screen. So I guess that was a little confusing. So just so that I can kind of show you what that looks like, you're going to go ahead and go into, let's go ahead and search for both lighting. So if I search in both, now you get all these different fixtures that they have produced, you know, whatever. And I also heard that you can also add in your own fixtures. Like, let's say if it's not on the list, you can create its own profile, and then you can add that in and then map it into SoundSwitch. But for this video here, I'm just going to show you how to add a fixture. So basically what you're going to want to look for is if you have the same exact both lighting tube or you plan on getting the same one, you're going to look for this one here. Both lighting tube, 192, 360 tube, 40 channel mode. So you're going to do that, and you're going to look for it in here, which is going to be this one. Oh, sorry, this one. And then you're going to just drag, and then you can just do it like that. So once you do that, you're going to see that it's going to be in this area right here. But this is going to be really important when you're kind of setting everything up, and you're going to want to pay attention to the channels and address. So from, I believe, the DMX address here for my wash effects is 1 to 40, and then for the both lighting tube, it's 41 to 80. So we're going to go ahead and delete this because it'd be just a duplicate. I don't need that. So delete fixture. Once you have that set up, you need to go into each of your fixture and make sure it's in the same DMX address. So that's really important. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And you want to make sure that your DMX fixtures are in DMX. So going back to what I was saying earlier about having the transmitter and the dongles and the receiver, this is what you're going to need. So in a pack, it comes with, I believe, 4 of these receivers and 1 transmitter. That's what you really need to control all of these dongles, all these receivers. So these are rechargeable, and you can basically just charge them up and then have them run at the event. Now, I did a 4 or I think 6-hour event, and it was fine. They didn't run out of battery. So just make sure you charge them overnight and they're fully charged. There's no indication of when these will die on you or anything like that. There's no screen, but I don't think it takes a lot of power for them to stay on. And if you really want to know the battery life, I'll include the link in the description below, and you can read all about it on Amazon and whatnot. Now, this one, which is going to be the transmitter, you're going to need its own power source, and all the cables, all the power that comes in the packaging itself. So when you plug this in, you're going to need to power this up. So there it is. I don't know if you can see that blue light, but there it is right there. So there's that. And so for these, to make sure it's all in the same channel, you want to make sure they're all in the same color. So with the receivers, there's this little button here. It's probably really hard to see on the camera, but once you turn it on, right now it's on blue because I already have it all set. Typically, you just need to do it once, and you don't really need to mess with it. But sometimes it will automatically change to a different color. You just go into this button, click it with the safety pin or whatnot, and then change it back to its color, and they will be all on the same channel. So, yep, that's pretty simple. And all you do is you plug that into the control one for its input, like that. And if you're using a dongle, I think Daryl Bennett is the name. He has video showing you how to connect everything with just the dongle, which is fine. So I'll have 2 of these in my Wash FX, and then I have 1 of these in my transmitter and receiver for the both lighting tubes, because there's no way to plug one of these dongles into a both lighting tube. And I'll show that to you guys in just a sec here. All right, so here's my Wash FX. It's plugged in, it's on. These, they do not have like an on or off switch or anything like that. I'm gonna move my mic. But essentially, all you have to do is make sure that your dongle, your receiver is on. In this case, it is. And then plug it in, DMX in. And then from there, once you have it all set, it's a little bright, that. But now you can control it. So right now I'm changing the colors on the control one. I can do the different strobes. Now this is just basically an auto mode because I don't have anything playing, but that's what it looks like. So your receiver end is going to be plugged into the back here, and then you do the same thing on the second one. Now what's really important is that you want to make sure when you have it in DMX mode that you set it right on the right channels like we assigned them before, and that's pretty much it. And all right, so I apologize for not having the most clean workstation, but just because everything is so cramped and I have a bunch of crap, but I wanted to share this with you guys on how to set everything up. But basically what you're going to want to do is to make sure it's on DMX mode. You're going to go through the menu and you're going to scroll until you get to this, which it says 3 channel, and you want to go up to 40 because that's what we have it in sound switch. So 3, it's hard to see upside down, sorry. So you're gonna go up, enter. Oh, here we go. You gotta hit menu, my bad. So 6 channel, 11, 40, and you hit enter. Once you do that, and you have your sound switch on, or sorry, your receiver, it's gonna go into DMX mode because it'll register once you have a dongle in there. So there it is. I'm just hitting the different colors. All right, so the next thing that you want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and basically connect your both lighting tubes. So this is what it looks like. And by looking at the base of this, of course, there's nothing that you can do to plug in a DMX wireless receiver. So that's why you're going to need one of these guys, which is going to be the transmitter and the receiver connected with the wireless transmitter or receiver dongle. Wow, that was a mouthful. But basically, this is what you're going to need to do in order to get that all set up correctly. All right, so basically, this is what I have it set as. I just have the P on one, ID on one. It does come with a booklet of like instructions for you to show you how to kind of like control everything. But these are the 2 buttons that you have. I just left it on that and it worked, so I didn't really need to really set that up. It might be different for you, but that's what I have it on. I just made sure that this is on the same channel. Flashing green right now. I know it's supposed to be blue because that's what I have it on, but let me show you how to set it up on the tube lights. All right, so here's the both lighting tube. Now that I have all the dongles kind of charged or they're powered, this should all work. So I don't know if you guys remember, but on the sound switch app itself, I had the both lighting tubes assigned from 41 to 80. So you just want to make sure that that's assigned correctly on here with your fixture itself. So we're going to go ahead and hit menu and change the address down to 41 because that's where the both lighting tube starts for the address. So we'll go down 41, hit enter, and now it's red. Wash FX is red. Change it to a different color. Yellow, blue, purple. I think that's like aqua or teal. but you get the idea. All right, so now that I have everything set up, I'm gonna go into performance mode or perform mode and get out of edit, because when you're in edit, you can't really demo what the auto loops will look like. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit perform. You can't really see that on my screen, but essentially I'm gonna go ahead and hit default like I showed you guys before. Now that I'm in performance mode, I'm going to be able to use all the different effects and the auto loops within the sound switch controller itself. And if you're using the dongle, you can definitely just use it on screen. You don't need to buy this device here. So let me show you what that looks like. And I'll play a song here. And as you can see, I didn't touch anything, but it's already doing like an auto loop show on itself. So if you want to have it on one color, then basically you can select whatever color you want and it's going to do whatever auto loop it has. But if you don't want that one color, you want it to change different colors, you just hit that color going again where it's not flashing, and it's going to do whatever effect the auto loop has it on, and it'll cycle through the different effects. So that's pretty much it. Again, like I said, this is supposed to be very simple and easy to use once you know what you're doing. And it doesn't require a whole lot. You definitely have to do a lot of pre-work beforehand, but that's pretty much it when it comes to like the whole sound switch setup. Again, I apologize for my table being so messy, but I do have a lot of stuff and there's not really a place for me to put it, but wanted to show you guys how to set everything up. And let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions or what type of lighting solution that you guys are currently using. All right, and that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'll have all the links in the description below if you guys want to have the same exact setup. Again, I think it's the best bang for your buck, especially if you have like an SUV or maybe like a smaller compact car and you just want to be able to set up everything very fast and break down stuff very fast too. But once you start to have a bigger production and start to do like bigger shows and whatnot, you can add other fixtures in here, and I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but it takes a little bit of time to learn everything. Again, I'm not an expert, or do I know a lot about sound switch, but that was my goal for 2025. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys the next time. Oh, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.